So I'm gonna do just a quick tactic session today because I don't really feel like doing a particularly long one. So I'm still on the normal tactic set on Lichess. Right off the bat, we've got a pawn in game, which I mean, first of all, if I get okay, I mean, I guess C5 A4 is probably just a draw because after King C4 A3. I mean, king b3, a b2, king b2, king c5, draw. So king c3. And then on a4, I have king b4, which wins both pawns. So on king c3, I don't know, what else is he doing? Oh, king c5, king takes b3, king d4. And if I go king a4, you have king takes c4, and then king a5, king b3. So, okay. King c3, king c5, take on b3, king d4. Okay, that looks like it works out for a black. So, what do I do then? I mean, throwing in, like, after I've gone king a4 and they've taken on c4, it doesn't help to go b3 because of, I mean, just king c3. Okay, in the starting position, yeah, c5 definitely doesn't work because on a4 they're threatening a3, and I mean king c3 would just drop the pawn on d5, so that doesn't make any sense. If I went king d3 and they went whatever king c5, king c3, a4, that hasn't helped me, I don't think. Um, okay. I'm trying to figure out if there's any way that like king c3, king c5, king d3 or something would make any sense. But like on king b4, I mean, if king d4, then um, wait a minute. There. A4, c5. No, it just doesn't work. Doesn't make any sense because a3, yeah, take c6, b2, c7, b1. So now I'm confused, which is not uncommon. And yeah, so like if I start with king d3 or whatever, and they go king c5, I mean, my only move is king c3, then they go a4, and then I play king d3. And then yeah, I mean it's not achieving anything. So I don't get what I'm supposed to do then. Go back to well, what was the line I was looking at earlier? King c3, king c5, take on b3, a4. No, wait. King d4, that's what it was. King c3, king there, king b3, king d4. And if I went yeah, if I went king a4, you're in time with king takes c4. And if I went whatever c5, you're in time with take king a4, king b6. And I'm just not just not making any progress there. Gotta stop doing these in the evening when I'm tired. I mean, it's not an excuse. These are still doable, but it's just frustrating to have to try and go back and calculate the same line multiple times because I forgot what was going on the first time. Uh, hmm, not saying anything because I haven't come up with any new ideas yet. Like I can repeat myself, but oh wait, what if I play? It doesn't make any sense, does it? If I went like King D3 and on no, but that doesn't make sense because on King C5 I gotta go King C3 or else I lose my pawn, and then they go A4, and on King D3 they have King B4, and then like I lose my pawn on C4 if I don't go King D4, but then they play A4, C5, A3, and so on. Hmm. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any particular sense to play King E3 either. I don't think. Just trying to like somehow zugzwang black, but I don't see how I'm accomplishing that. Unless wait, King E3 on King C5, King D3. I can go King B4 still, right? King B4, King D4, A4, C5, A3. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, dude, what if I went? Okay, wait. King C3, King C5, King takes B3, King B4, King A3, King takes C4, King A4. That way, Black has to make a move that doesn't give him direct access to the B3 square. Then I can take on A5 next. Okay, that's probably it. Okay, so there. Okay, so this will allow me to take. Yeah, and then on King C5. Well, wait a minute. Oh, it's a similar thing, isn't it? Because yeah, I play King A3 again. It's the same situation, but his king is on C5 rather than D4. So I can do the same thing. I'm pretty sure. King A3, take King A4, and wins. And then if he does not take on C4 and plays whatever King B6, I can chuck the C pawn when I need to. Because yeah, King C3, A4 probably doesn't win. So yeah, it's the same idea. Excellent. Um, okay, maybe do one more. At least try to do one more, because that Um, yeah, I'm not feeling a long tactic session today. Okay, so I'm just not gonna bother waiting to play a takes b3 because obviously that's the only move. Now here, um, I mean, I'm kind of forced to play king e7, aren't I? Is that true? Okay, but like, so what's the issue after king e7? I mean, presumably white will play king b3 at some point, and then I mean, I guess yeah, I suppose when I have to direct my king over to the a pawn, white is able to bring their king to f6 and then start taking stuff. So like king e7, okay, whatever. Let's say a5, king d7, king b3, and if black went like f6. Well, okay, hang on a minute. Let's say I went king e7, takes on b3, f6, king b4. If you did go e5, then take a5, king wherever, king c4. Yeah, so that wouldn't be good. If you just wait with your pawns like that, then I mean the king has an in via d6. Yeah, okay, so okay. However, okay, first of all, I did wonder what would happen if I started with b2. B2 takes king e5, or sorry, king e7. I don't see how that helps me directly because white has to spend a move with the king anyway, and yeah, I don't see how that helps. But what I was thinking about was e5, because if f e5, king e5, um, like I can play f5 and fling my king over to the queen side, and white can never really achieve anything in terms of taking the king side pawns, because what if your king goes to g5 or whatever and then takes on g6, then f4 will win. So yeah, e5, and then obviously a5, e takes f4, a6, f3, a7, f2, queen, queen. But that's good, right? Like I'm 2 pawns up, and I don't see anything resembling a perpetual check. And of course, if you the important uh thing is that the b pawn is alive, so after e5, a5 takes if you went king d3 or whatever at b2. So yeah, it must be this, right? If they play f5, does that make sense? f5, e4. Yeah, okay, must be this. Yeah, they're there, and then, well, presumably takes. Okay, fantastic. Right, because yeah, I mean, I for somehow I didn't have the brain power to calculate any of these sequences exactly, but it seemed to me that whenever something like this would happen, at some point the king would be able to access squares that I didn't want it to access to. And if you play this at some point, you end up in a situation where the king is going to c5 and then d6, and the king is not in time to do anything but make a draw. So yeah, e5, and then on f5, yeah, I was thinking e4, but you can apparently take as well. And yeah, of course, if takes, I'm in the square of their pawn, and then I can play f5 and well, I can play f6 and g5 as well, actually. So that's um not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so two pawn endgame ones. that were kind of tricky. I mean that last one, um, I mean it is kind of like the um implicit help of it being a highly rated tactics puzzle is that you look at the position and you're like, oh, I have to play king e7 to get within the square of the pawn, and you think that it can't that you can't keep making moves like pawn takes rook and king over towards the a pawn that easily, and e5 did occur to me pretty early on. The other one was very tricky though, I found. I couldn't figure out the right way to lose a tempo to Zugzwang Black. I'm not sure I've seen that exact theme before where it's um you force if you go after their pawn immediately, they go after your pawn. So you make one wasted move to actually force the king away from your pawn. And after king d3, king a4, king c2, you're able to play. Yeah. Um, yeah, you're able to play b4. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye.